Hi, my name is Rick Clovis. I work with Oklahoma State University Extension Service in Pawnee and Osage counties, and I just wanted to go over some soil testing basics today and why we should be doing it, especially this spring. It's April 20th, 2020 right now, today when I'm making this, and just wanted to, with the COVID situation and how it's affecting the cattle industry and some of the things you need to take into account to make some of your business ranch decisions, economic decisions from this spring going forward into next fall. So the first one is that I'm going to go over some basics on how to take that soil sample. We want to really encourage you to use this soil probe. You can borrow these from your county office. Just call and leave a voicemail and they'll figure out a way to get that to you this year. And also to let you know that we are still doing soil testing with the Oklahoma State University Soil and Forage Lab. And we've noticed that our samples are way down. That's part of the reason I'm making this, is to encourage you to go ahead and do that this year. The lab is still open. We can still take those samples. We just have a different procedure in place in all our county offices. In Osage and Pawnee County, we got tubs outside our office door, and you can just leave those samples there, and we'll get them picked up and sent into the soil lab when we come into the office to check on those things. Just give your county office a call and let them and make those arrangements and see what they're doing to get your soil samples in. And so with that, be sure all the counties have this soil probe. You can just borrow it for free, check it out. We want to encourage you to use that instead of just a soil, using a shovel sample to get a soil sample, and it's going to make it a lot better, a lot more accurate test. We want you to get the most accurate information we can, because it's going to pull this core and get all the layers right and make that test much more accurate than if you use a shovel or some other way besides a soil core sampler to use. So also, how many samples do you need to take, that kind of thing. Where do you need to take them? Right now we're standing on this 100-acre field of Bermuda grass that hadn't really started to grow here in northern Pawnee yet, because we've got this cool spring we've been having. We had freezes just 2 or 3 days ago, and I looked on the Mesonet, and every county in Oklahoma has been below freezing, I think, within the last 10 days or so. So we got a cool spring. Bermuda grass is starting off slow, so I wanted to, these comments are mainly going to be about Bermuda grass, because that's the main thing we fertilize here in Pawnee and Osage County this time of year. So just make aware of that Bermuda grass doesn't really grow till it gets in the high 80s and 90s, so it's not taken off yet. But I want to encourage you to be sure and have your cool season grasses grazed down if they're in Bermuda grass, so that they don't use the nitrogen fertilizer or the P&K as well before the Bermuda grass starts growing this year. So delay that as long as you can. I know we're always anxious to get our fertilizer out, but you want to overlap that fertilizer with the time the Bermuda grass is actually going to be growing, because it does better than most forages at utilizing that nitrogen. Kind of a rule of thumb is that for every 50 pounds of actual nitrogen you get, you're going to get another ton of forage per acre. And so that'd be like 108 pounds of urea, 140 some pounds of ammonium nitrate if that's what you use. So be aware of that, and make sure it's still available when the Bermuda grass starts growing, and those cool season grasses that are ending their life cycle now, that are getting ready to mature and quit growing, that they don't use it up and make it unavailable to the Bermuda grass. So with that, you're going to want to pull 15 to 20 sample cores like this, put them in a bucket, and then mix that up and put it into this bag we have. It's what we're going to send it in with, about a quart-sized bag, and we'll label it the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, pH test costs $10. If you don't have this bag, just go ahead and put it in a Ziploc bag, and we'll get it transferred into this bag at the office and sent off to the lab and get your results back. Also, so how many of these samples do you want to send? Since this is a 100-acre field, and I know it's all about the same soil type, and it's been managed the same, we're just going to do 15 to 20 samples from this 100 acres. But you may have a much smaller field that's part creek bottom, has different soil, that's a little upland. So you want to take different samples, 15 to 20 cores from those different soil types, in order to get an accurate soil test, and let you know what you need to do with that. So with that, I want to just go over some basic economic things about what maybe you want to be thinking about this year for your cattle operation. With the COVID situation, we all know it's had a big effect on the economy. Our economy is slowing down, is depressed right now. That's going to cause a lowering of demand on beef, so that's going to lower our cattle prices. So we want to be as efficient as we can this year in order to maintain a profit, because maybe the prices could possibly be down from what we're used to in the past. So with that, the economic ranch studies we've done in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Montana, they all say that the highest profit per cow ranchers are those ranchers that spend higher than average on their pasture expense, on that forage they produce that's going to be grazed by the cow, by a stalker on their operation. And they do that by either having the proper stocking rate or by increasing their forage production through management such as fertilization and weed control, those kinds of things. So be aware of that. So those another sign that those higher than profit ranches show us is also if they have lower than average purchased off-farm feed expenses. So the cake they buy, the 20s or 38s, wherever they feed, the hay they purchase off of the ranch, is not produced on the ranch, is lower than average. So that offsets those higher than average pasture expenses and makes them a profitable ranch. So with that, I want you to use some of these things we're talking about. I mean, the low oil price this year, hopefully that's going to cause fertilizer to be cheaper than normal, but it also may make dried distillers grains higher or maybe even unavailable for next fall because of the ethanol production that the DDGs are a byproduct of, and with the low oil price, the ethanol production is not very profitable right now, so they're not even converting corn into ethanol, which has that byproduct of the dried distillers grains. So keep those things in mind as you're making your economic business decisions on your ranch this day, and give us a call at your county office. Hopefully we can help you out. Thank you.